Welcome to the complete demonstration of Paperless Overnight. I'm Casey Truby, the inventor. Now imagine that you could just scan or photograph accounting documents right straight into your accounting software, QuickBooks, any of them. Or totally running a paperless office for just a few dollars a day, where someone else is doing all the work. Well, Paperless Overnight will cut your back office cost between 25 and 75%, and that's going to happen in a matter of days. Today, 4,000 businesses all over the world with 1 to 99 employees are using this in the background service called Paperless Overnight. So if you've lost 3 nights of sleep in the past year worrying about cash flow or bottlenecks in your production or bad sales reports, in the next few minutes, I'll show you how a paperless office works when a businessman designs the system instead of some computer geek. Now, you may have tried going paperless in the past, but you got a lot of pushback from your employees. That's probably because you gave them a complicated software, cumbersome process to follow. All those problems go away because we're doing everything for you in the background. We're like a little paperless guardian angel watching over your operation. Your staff training will take under 30 minutes. They'll know exactly how to use this because we're doing everything. And you've gotten rid of back office paper and all the chaos that it generates. And once that happens, you can actually map your sales process into paperless, standardize your lead generation system, and your sales will blow through the roof. So let's talk about cutting costs though first in a small business. 1, 2, 3 people on the team. Just getting rid of paper alone can cut $18,000 a year at the minimum out of your overhead. But if you let us do your bookkeeping at 97 cents, because that's an option, if you let us do the bookkeeping, we may easily cut $45,000 out of that small business overhead, and that's $3,000 or $4,000 a month, new net money right to the bottom line. And if you've got 10 or 20 people, your savings may hit $85,000 a year. Whoa. So let's talk about this a little bit. Let me give you some real life examples. We'll start with bookkeeping. Now, it is an option. You don't have to use us for bookkeeping. But if you're doing 100 to 400 transactions a month, you've got somebody doing the work. But starting today, it scans right into your accounting, and a college graduate accountant reviews every transaction. They look at those scans to make sure it went into QuickBooks the right way. Well, 97 cents on 100, 200, 300 transactions a month compared to paying a full-time bookkeeper, that's a lot of money to the bottom line. Have you ever wondered why bookkeepers or any of your employees cost so much? Why is it so expensive to have people? It's because we never give enough allocation to the overhead burden rate. Things like insurance, management, office space, hiring, training, all that stuff. Builds a $15 person builds their cost up to $36 an hour. Well, that's $75,000 a year for a full-time person, and that's true of everyone in your company. With Paperless Overnight, those people will be able to get twice as much work done in the same number of hours, or you might get half as many people on the staff. Now, we don't actually recommend laying anyone off because good people are hard to find, but good customers, the truth is, they're easy to find if you have a standardized process. Now, if you do love your bookkeeper, keep them. Skip that optional benefit. Let's take the next few minutes and I'll show you 15 out of the 100 ways paperless will change your life even if we don't include the bookkeeping module. Let's start with going paperless, getting rid of all these file folders and all these documents. Do you know that touching paper steals 2 hours a day from everyone in your office? That's 25% of the day totally wasted, and it's because we're looking for files or digging in stacks of paper, wondering what to do next. Well, you can get that 2 hours back, and if you're a real productivity hound like I am, put in dual monitors, and you'll cut 1 or 2 more hours a day. Just these 2 steps, paperless and dual monitors, that's good for $77 to $144 in extra productivity every single day. Then we'll take you to the next step, and that's standardizing your operation, building business process management into it, and that's good for another 23% jump in your business. Paperless Overnight lets you set up a complete BPM, business process management, on the fly while you're working, so you can have flowcharts and checklists and video clips to get things done. Well, this 23% jump in productivity on top of the 2 to 4 hours that we've already cut, that's a big deal in your business. So let's look at just one example. Losing a piece of paper If you lose a piece of paper, according to Deloitte and Touche, that's $125 of productivity shot down the drain. Well, why would you ever want to suffer that? Because, I mean, now, how many times have you lost a piece of paper and you're looking all over for it? In a paperless office, you just go to your digital dashboard where all of your documents are stored. You can get to any piece of paper in 3 seconds. No running down the hall, no finding out who's got the file folder, no more digging through stacks of paper. It's right on your screen. You're using dual monitors, so there's no work paper spread all over the desk, and you're rapidly running through work. Your entire filing cabinet is right here, not only for you, but for everyone. Now, getting documents into the system, well, that's as simple as buying a $400 Fujitsu scanner. But I got to tell you something. If you really want to be successful at improving productivity, build a fortress around your business and don't let any paper get in. Paperless Overnight is a before-the-fact service. That means no paper gets in. We do everything on the screen. Everyone in the office got 2 or 3 monitors because when we're out in the field and we get a receipt, we scan it. If we're printing something in the office, it goes to PDF and goes right into the document management. And everyone works off screens. We went to our customers and our vendors and said, don't mail us anything from now on. Scan or fax it. Do you know we got 100% buy-in within a couple of months? Here's even a more interesting one. No mail comes here. We haven't seen the mailman in 2 years because we hired a secretarial service. They intercept our mail and they just scan it all in. Now, they don't scan junk mail. They just throw that in a box. But at the end of the month, they mailed us the box, and we have junk mail day on Saturdays. We just go through the junk mail, pull out the credit card renewals. They already mailed the checks over to the bank, so we don't have to worry about that. All of these documents go away. We're running our entire business on a digital dashboard, and the same dashboard has everybody's documents and work listed. Now, you can get a hold of this dashboard from any mobile device so that if you want to, you can work from home, or if you go on a job site, you can get your entire customer filing cabinet opened and talk to the client about it. From any job site or customer's office, you can even look at this when you're on vacation and see how your company's doing, because remember, when these people come to work, they're clicking on their name, a list of all their documents come up, because documents are work in business. A list of their work comes up, they just click on the next one, and not only does what needs to be done show up on the screen, how to do it shows up on the screen so people can rapidly run through work on dual monitors. I mean, it's going to have a tremendous impact on your profit. It's like taking a butcher knife to your overhead. But let me share one with you that I really love. This one I really love. I do have a few people in the office, and once in a while something might happen, like a little girl has a fever, mom has to go home. Well, that's fine. I mean, you can't argue about that. But maybe there's something really critical that needs to get done today. Well, after the baby's gone to bed, mom logs on to digital dashboard on Paperless Overnight. She sees all the other people in the office, access to all the filing cabinets, and she just goes ahead and knocks out the really important work. So we never miss a beat if somebody can't get into the office or if they need to work from home. Now, we're a Wyoming-based company with our roots going all the way back to 1969 in booking. So that's a long time, 1969. And today, we're all over the world with 4,000 small businesses. But I got to tell you, there's a secret here. We're not a software company. We're actually a 24/7 service bureau working in the background. Now, I looked at software. When I developed this, I looked at the big players in the market, and these people charge $1 million to install systems at the minimum. And what does it take to manage documents, manage workflow, capture knowledge, access from home for telecommuting, that sort of thing? And I looked at all these big systems, and then I looked at the smaller ones, the ones that charge $10,000 to $35,000, the people that usually call on small business, and I looked at everything they were doing. Now, we did this because my wife said, listen, I'm having babies. I don't want to work 60 hours a week down at the office anymore. I want to cut way back. Well, the system that we developed, because we didn't develop it around software, but around live human beings working in the background, it's so popular that 4,000 people are now using it. And the real benefit here is that your staff is not learning how to do this. Your staff's not doing it. My people working in the background, I've trained them on documents. They do everything for you. And now this is going to be the kicker. we do it for a flat rate of $97 a week. That's not $10,000, that's not $35,000, that's not $1 million if you're IBM or Oracle. We do it for a flat rate of $97. You got my team. So we get rid of these documents, and documents, even vendors and customers will send their documents in by scan or fax. They would prefer that rather than mail it. You get it instantly. They don't have to deal with the mail. It's so easy to get documents in. Now, this is my server farm in Pennsylvania, iNetU in Allentown. I've had this rack of servers since 1995. Yes, they look a little different today than they did then. But when documents come in from clients or vendors, then we actually look at it and we read every single piece of paper by hand, and we pull the important information off. Maybe there's a Home Depot credit memo, $218, Tobacco Road Project credit memo 2828, and what's the date? We pull all that important information and put it into a SQL database, and the reason we do that is because then you can search it quick. As a matter of fact, if you ever need to find something, you use the exact same search boxes that we use to name it, and you can go through 1 million pieces of paper in about 3 seconds. Bang, the document's right there. But when the document comes up, everything that we've ever done inside the company, that's what your people do, comes up with it. When your person works on the document, it's date and time stamped. If they have a problem, they made notes on the document, what the status is of the work, all of that comes up instantly. So not only are we hand naming your documents, but we're also setting you up for a more efficient workflow because, remember, we assign the document to who's supposed to do the work. So we assign the documents once we name them to the category of work in your company that needs to get done. Everything in business happens in production, marketing, or finance. So we assign it, and then we assign it to the lowest skilled person in that particular category. And this works even for a 2-person office. So once you have the system in place, you can rapidly grow the business by just plugging more people onto your digital dashboard. But they do what they can, because we invented a system here called bottom-up delegation. Send all work to the lowest skilled person in our office. They do what they can. What they can't, they bump up to their manager. What the manager can't do, they bump up to the boss. And this way, we're keeping work away from the boss because only about 2% of everything that happens in the company ever gets bumped all the way to you. Well, that gives you an incredible economy of scale, something that you would see at UPS or Walmart or Federal Express, the things you read about in the Wall Street Journal for automated processes. And here's why it works. We know that in business, everything that happens generates paper in about 30 seconds. You know, if a bill comes in the mail, you grab a blank check. If a customer calls on the phone, you pull out an order blanket. If somebody else's schedule changed down the hall, you get a Post-it note and stick it to your computer screen. If we can capture those documents and then manage the traffic of that document through your business as work's getting done, then we've standardized your workflow, and that is powerful. So we assign the document to the right person in your business. When they come in, they click on their name. Their list comes up of work to be done today, which is paper. And then they rapidly run through the work, or they delegate it up the skill chain with one click. And that way you have total control of what's going on with total transparency all the time. As a matter of fact, we even have safety nets in here. So if a document goes past due, work's not getting done on time, then it shows up as a red flag, and you simply click on the document before the client gets disappointed, and you can see everything that's going on, who's touched it, what the status is, what kind of problems they have, and you can deal with it right from your desk rather than getting up and running down the hall and saying, why is this? So this is going to run your business far more efficiently. As a matter of fact, we'll even give you a reporting system so you know how long everybody took to get every single job done. But the jobs are going to go so much faster. You'll get 8 hours of work done in 6 hours, 4 hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, because you're going to flow chart exactly how work gets done, or even video clip it. Now, here's how it happens. When a job does get delegated up to you, don't run down the hall and explain how you want it done, because in that moment, you nor your staff get work done, and in 2 months they're probably going to forget how you want it done anyway. So here's a better idea. When a task gets bumped up to you, and let's go back to our Home Depot credit memo. Let's say it's a tough one, it gets bumped up to me, and I'm looking at it and say, well, that's not that hard to do. Don't get out of your chair. Click a button called record and a little green box opens on your screen. Your microphone turns on. Go ahead and do the job. And then just save your little 2, 3, 4, 5-minute video. The next time that Home Depot credit memo comes in, as soon as we name the document, it goes out and searches our library of your video clips and a green TV pops up. So your staff person just clicks the green TV and they see exactly how it's supposed to get done. Now, I'm not the only one that creates these. I let everybody that works in our office create knowledge on how they do their job, and I tell them, listen, once you've got your job totally documented, then you're eligible for promotion. But until then, we can't hire anybody to come in behind you. So in just a couple of months, usually somewhere between 3 to 5 months, your entire business becomes standardized and you've got no more bottlenecks in your production. Now I've got another one. This is important. This is another reason why capturing that knowledge is so important. 20% of the people in business, even in a recession, 20% of the people quit every year. And in the past, when somebody left, how they did their job went out the door with them. You lost all that knowledge and experience. Well, then you got to start the entire training process over. That doesn't happen anymore because the knowledge of how that piece of work got done is captured, and when they leave, the knowledge stays behind. You can train the next person in a fraction of the time. So your sleepless nights about bottlenecks in production, they're coming to an end. Now, I did promise you that I would show you how we use this to increase sales as well. So let's go through that a little bit on standardizing our perfect customer funnel process into our document management. Now, this works so well that some days I feel like I rule in the pajama kingdom. I don't even have to go to work because I can work from my desk at home. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. But a lot of it happens because I've got so many people working from their home. Since we're in the cloud and everything's available with anyone with the internet connection, I hire commissioned salespeople as contractors, and they work off payroll to sell stuff for us. And they're simple. They might work 1 or 2 hours a day. They might work 10. It's up to them because they're contractors on the outside. Now, I like to keep those salespeople busy, so I hire work-at-home telemarketers that I get off Guru and Elance and Craigslist. And they set leads, so this person's always working on the next deal, and the two of them work as a team. And this next one you're going to love. I have a woman in West Virginia who saves me 2 hours a day because she intercepts all of my emails, all of my phone calls. She sorts through them. You know, 90% of email is just junk. 8% is actually important. It goes to one of my staff people right on the digital dashboard. She just forwards it right into the document management. And 2% I've got to deal with. So every day I probably spend 5 or 10 minutes on email instead of the average 1 or 2 hours. And she does the same thing on the telephone. She intercepts all my calls, clarifies what the people want, redirects it if possible, and if not, sets a meeting on my schedule right here so that I know exactly who I'm going to talk to when and what we're supposed to get done. I've got another gal who does nothing but resurrect old clients. Now, we've all read this in business books. Call your old customers. A lot of them will come back. So we just run a report every month, everyone who hasn't done business with us in the last 90 days, and I post it to Paperless Overnight. She gets on the report and calls them. I noticed you haven't done business. What can we do to resurrect this? I pay her $15 an hour. She works 2 hours a week. That is the most effective marketing program you could ever come up with. Now, what if you like to work on the internet and you use it to generate sales leads? There are so many work-at-home brilliant people out there that it's incredible. I have one guy that does nothing but landing pages. He charges me $25 a piece. Hired him on Craigslist. And if I come up with an idea, I pencil it out on a PowerPoint and I just post it to Paperless Overnight. He gets a message, you've got work, clicks, opens it, creates it, posts it, and then uses Paperless Overnight to bill me for his time so that my bookkeeper can log on and PayPal the guy to get rid of it. But isn't that powerful? I have a woman in Idaho that does nothing but post ads on Craigslist or Elance or Amazon. We sell some electronic books as a lead generator, so she's always posting them on these online sales sites, and she's always running ads for us on Craigslist, but she charges me $18 an hour and she's a flat wizard. This next one I really love, and I actually hired my sister in Texas to do this. she has one of these printers, I sent it to her, that receives print jobs over the internet through email. And so when anybody in my company wants to send out an invoice or a brochure, sales letter, thank you note, we don't have a printer in the office. They don't have a printer at their office. Everything that goes out is printed at my sister's house. When documents come in, she looks at them, makes sure that they fit, signs it with my staff person's name, and sticks it in an envelope. I pay her $1 a piece to do this. And so rather than having a printer and having all the costs that are associated with it, this little $200 printer takes care of it all, plus $1 for each of the events. I got to tell you, that saves us so much money and so much chaos. It's amazing. There are tons of smart people sitting out there right now with this recession that are willing to work for you part-time. Now, at this point, you're probably wondering, well, would this actually work in my company? Well, I'd love to show you some examples of exactly how we've worked in businesses just like yours. So let's quickly review this. Paperless Overnight does 4 things for a small business with 1 to 100 employees. Number 1, we take you totally paperless in the background, so no software, no hardware, no training, no consultants. Tonight, we do it. Tomorrow, you're paperless. The second thing is we give you a workflow management system and a tracking system so you know exactly who's doing what and when it gets done. The third thing is we'll give you the process and the technology to actually flowchart or set up business process management systems that you create on the fly so your company runs better. And then the fourth thing is access to offsite micro labor. We'll even show you how to get this done. So let's talk about the return on investment. Just going paperless will save $36 to $77 per worker at a desk per day in your company. If you go to dual monitors, another $36 to $77 a day cut. If you do the work tracking and business process management, you'll increase productivity another 23%. Now, here's what all these are adding up to. 8 hours of work is getting done in 6 hours, then 4 hours, and then 2 or 3 hours. My goodness, you'll be able to increase sales and increase your sales per employee to dramatic numbers by going paperless. And then, of course, access to offsite micro labor. One of my favorite, I have 65 people working for me all over the country using Paperless Overnight. I can hire these people for about 1/2 and sometimes 1/3 of what it costs to bring somebody into the office. And because we're doing all this for you, you're getting my team in the background and they're helping you build a methodical process with all the resource information on how to hire people, how to standardize your bookkeeping, how to build processes and checklists and flowcharts, including flowchart software. All of that is built in. So you keep paper from ever getting to your office. You keep the chaos at the door. So if you'd like to know more, if you'd like to start getting some more sleep, just give me a call. Put your phone number in the form down below or fill out the email request and my staff will set up a time and I'll give you demonstrations and examples of exactly how this would work in your business. Casey Truby, the Lonesome Cowboy, I appreciate you giving us the time today. Thank you very much for looking at Paperless Overnight. We hope we can start saving you some money tomorrow.